I'm around, I've always stand my ground, be a good leader. I'm recruiting leaders, and knowledge seeks, the target is truth. Gone too far from the truth. Welcome back to Panero's Mind, people. Now I'm going to share with you the rally that Trump done the other day. I don't know if you missed it, but he made some very important points. He was slaying Biden, like absolutely destroyed him. But how can you not? You see what's going on out here. So let's just get this rolling.
But your bigger time is November. We have to really go to town because, you know they cheat. You know that, right? And you know how you beat cheaters? You have to swamp them. You have to swamp them. Not drain the swamp. In this case, you have to build the swamp. Okay, we'll build one. But you have to swamp them. And we will. I think we're seeing numbers that we've never seen before, ever. But we're going to crush crooked Joe Biden next November. We're going to make America great again. We're going to put America first. Under crooked Joe, our borders have been demolished. Drugs and criminals are pouring in. Our economy is a mess. Our schools are in shambles. Our justice system is corrupt. We have a corrupt justice system. Who would have believed? Our Constitution, he said, I would. Did they give you a hard time too? Did they give you a hard time? Our Constitution is being ripped to shreds. Israel is under attack. And now we have terrorist sympathizers chanting their jihad slogans on our streets, all over our streets. With your vote, we will defend our country. We will defend our Judeo-Christian values, and we will defend Western civilization. And that's what we've got to do, right? What we've got to do. If I were president, the attack on Israel would have never happened. Wouldn't have happened. You know, we had Iran in a very good place.
I disagree. That attack on Israel is biblical. That's why they got you out of office, so they can proceed their things, man. You know that. Why are you not saying that?
They were broke. That's a good place. Now they're rich. Ukraine would never have happened. It would have never, ever happened. Putin would never have done it. Inflation would never have happened. That was started with stupid energy problem. You know, they just said, let's not drill. Let's go to more of the things that don't work.
He said Putin would never have went to Ukraine if you was there. Check the history behind Ukraine and why Putin wanted Ukraine.
And energy and inflation would never have happened. That was started with stupid energy problem. You know, they just said, let's not drill. Let's go to more of the things that don't work. And energy went up at a level that you will soon see again, by the way. You're going to see it again. I see that in California. They just hit $8.15 a gallon. It's not good. And you'll be following, unfortunately, but we're going to get it done. You know, we were at $1.87. Think of that, Ben. $1.87 a gallon. That's when I told you I was going to make a great deal with China, a great deal with Canada and Mexico.
So people in the UK, always remember, every time it goes up over there, we seem to follow.
I said, go out, buy more land and bigger tractors. Do you remember that? I said, bigger tractors and more land. But most embarrassing is the inept withdrawal. I was getting out of Afghanistan. 21 years was a long time, but we were getting out with dignity, honor. You know, I called up the head of the Taliban and I said, Abdul, don't ever do what you're doing, Abdul, because he was they were knocking him off left and right. They were shooting, killing a lot of people, especially under Obama. They were killing them, the snipers. And I spoke to him, the fake news media. I hope the fake news media, they weren't thrilled. They weren't exactly thrilled. But the fake news went out and they were very upset that I called him. I said, well, who else would I call? He's the leader of the Taliban. He's the one that's killing our people and killing a lot of people. I tell the story, Jesse James, who was a great bank robber, right? Jesse James. I said, Jesse, why do you always rob banks? He said, because that's where the money is, right? That's where the money is. You stupid person to ask a question like that. I rob banks because that's where the money is. Well, I dealt with the Taliban and the head of the Taliban because that's where the killing was. And we went 18 months after that, not one soldier even shot at. And we were losing them left and right. And we would have had a withdrawal that would have been very nice, and we would have kept the big air base. You know, we had an air base, one of the biggest in the world, and not because of Afghanistan, but because it's 1 hour away from where China makes their nuclear weapons. It would have been nice to keep it called Bagram, and we would have kept that. I was planning to stay there. They gave it up. They ran out. They took the military out first. Before they took out anything, they didn't take the American citizens, many of whom are still there now. A lot of people don't know that. They cannot be enjoyable right now. They can't get out. But they took the military out first, and they tried to take the citizens and the military equipment. We left $85 billion worth of equipment behind. Think of it. How stupid are these people? You know, I hate to use that word, but...
This is craziness. But when you listen to this, it makes you understand who's working with who and who's supplying who, basically. Do you understand what I'm saying? No.
It's just a very accurate word. How stupid are they? How stupid. And they left all that equipment behind. And now Afghanistan is the second or third largest seller of military equipment in the world. They're selling our equipment that we left behind because they don't need anywhere near. They need about 3% of it. 7 rifles and guns, 70,000 trucks and cars, many of them armor plated, costing millions of dollars to build. Airplanes, tanks, goggles, the goggles. They weren't, they're great fighters, but they never fought at night because they couldn't see at night. Now they can fight at night because we left them the best goggles, brand new, never taken out of the box, and better than what we have.
Are you hearing this? Are you hearing this? What he's basically saying is that they accidentally supplied the opposition. Their opposition, not mine, theirs. This is like, these are supposed to be professionals.
Thousands and thousands of goggles. People say, oh, that's not so good. Well, it is. Those are very expensive. Those are treasures. We gave them everything, and what we got is nothing but embarrassment. The most embarrassing moment, in my opinion, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And I think that's one of the reasons that Putin said, hey, if these people are so inept to allow a thing like that to happen, let's go and try and take Ukraine right now. And I think it opened the world to some very bad facts. But the truth is, we defeated ISIS 100%. Ben was with me. 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We did it in 4 weeks. We did that in 4 weeks. 4 weeks, and we knocked out 100% of that. And it was an honor to do it. We were told that we couldn't do it for 4 years. It would take 4 years at least and maybe not be able to do it. We did it in 4 weeks. We have unbelievable military. And that was when I went over to Iraq. Do you remember that? I spoke to some incredible people over there. And they said, sir, I think we can do it in 4 weeks. You have to.
When you get a chance, watch my video on do you want to join the army. I ain't got respect for veterans. I ain't got respect for the military. What I have respect for is people protecting their families, protecting their door, where they live. Their portal. I call it portal because everyone's home is has a different smell. It looks different. Different way of living, different rules, like a different portal. I don't respect people that fly planes over a certain piece of land and just be dropping bombs. I can't respect it. It's very cowardly, Get on some Braveheart shit. Run at them at least. But only run at them if it's your ops. I'm not talking about your country's ops. I'm talking about your ops, your personal ops. For personal reasons. Yeah? Nothing like, oh, you slept with man's girl or nothing like that. person that someone wants to kill you, like, or like take out your family members, you know what I mean? Not just go to another country and just join a team, go to another country and then be fighting people that you have no personal madness with. That's crazy. And then meantime, while you're over there, your wife is getting smashed off, yeah, giving head to everybody. I ain't even trying. Listen, man, I'm just saying, I don't respect it. I don't respect it. Like, if you'd done the military training and stayed here, or stayed wherever you was and protected your area, I could respect that more. But going to another country and killing people that you don't know, that's crazy. I never understand it. But let me carry on.
I'm left over, and we had unbelievable. Our military is great, but we did things that nobody thought we could do. We would not have an open border where countries are emptying out their prisons and their mental institutions.
That's crazy.
They say, please don't use this term, sir. Insane asylums. That's Silence of the Lambs, right? Hannibal.
Are you hearing this? Man's talking about, man's saying them immigrants that have been going all over the place. Some of them are from mental asylums and, like, let me just rewind it, and ex-convicts. I'll put that out there because, you know, we've been hearing little videos through the grapevine. You know, that one that's floating around with about the hotel and the woman saying that there's AKs in the box and all that. Alright, let me just go back a little bit.
Terry, and that was when I went over to Iraq. Do you remember that? I spoke to some incredible people over there. And they said, sir, I think we can do it in 4 weeks. You have time left over. And we had unbelievable. Our military is great, but we did things that nobody thought we could do. We would not have an open border where countries are emptying out their prisons and their mental institutions. They say, please don't use this term, sir. Insane asylums. That's Silence of the Lambs, right? Hannibal Lecter. Did anybody ever hear of Hannibal Lecter? The young people didn't. The young ones didn't. They don't want to hear about Hannibal. We don't want, but that's, they said it's a very tough term. I said, well, it's inaccurate. They're emptying out insane asylums. They're emptying out their mental institutions. They're emptying out their prisons and jails. And terrorists are pouring into our country. In record numbers, the terrorists are coming in. You know, they show a graph on one of the networks today that under Trump, 0 in 2019. They're showing 2019, 2020, 2020. 0 terrorists. Think of that. Came in. And then the march begins. They go to 2020, 2021, and now it's numbers that we've never even seen before. And what can be good about that? You know, whether you're liberal, conservative, common sense, it doesn't matter. I like to say I'm common sense. They say, what are you? You're very conservative. I say, well, I'm basically common sense. The people in this room are common sense. You don't have to say conservative. Somebody would say, oh, he gave up being a conservative. No, I'm conservative. We're common sense. We don't want open borders. We want voter ID. We want paper ballots. We want same-day voting. We want schools that work well and can teach your kids how to read and write and arithmetic. We want a strong military. We want low taxes, right? We want low taxes. We want very little regulation. I gave you the greatest tax cut in the history of the country. We gave you the biggest regulation cut. That's why we had the best economy in the history of America. We had the best economy in the history of our country. And we'll do it again. I think we can do it quickly. Look, they really loused it up with energy. Energy was a disaster. We will say the words, drill, baby, drill. We'll be drilling very quickly. Okay? So those big tractors that you bought that take a little more fuel, you'll be very happy in a very short period of time. But you're going to be very happy. But we did great, and, you know, they're just running off the fumes of what we did. I was very disrespectful to Iowa. I'd like to apologize because I go around saying, of course we're going to win Iowa. And my people say, you cannot assume that to this extent. Well, I think we're up by 47 points or something, so we should. But forgetting that, But Ben, they said, sir, it would be nice if you didn't say that because you can't just assume, people may get upset. I said, wait a minute. I got Iowa and the farm states, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and others. I got farmers $28 billion from China. I said, there's no way that I was voting against Trump. There's nothing. You guys were opening up those checks. You say, where the hell?
Farmers, you gave farmers what? From China. Oh, so that's okay. So what is that linked to Bill Gates then? Is Trump friends with Bill Gates? I have to look into that one, still. That was weird.
Where did that come from? That came from Trump. I got it from China. Do you think Biden's going to get $28 billion from China? China pays Biden directly. Okay? We're just trying to find out how much. Most corrupt president we've ever had by far, and the most incompetent. And I never used to talk that way. It's true. But you wouldn't say that because I respect the office too much. But now I hit him differently than I would. Because they did something to me that's never been done before. They indicted me because I protested a crooked election. They indicted me. They go after people for years. Do you notice they never go after people that rigged the election? They go after people that are complaining about the rigging. Did anybody see anybody with all the things and all the facts we have? And you'll be seeing them come out because we never forget. History, you have to remember. History is a very important word. But they indicted me once, twice, 3, 4. I think they stopped. I heard they were going to do a couple of more, but they said, don't do any more because my poll numbers have shot up. Because people get it, right? People get it. People get it. Did anybody ever hear? He's a very nice.
I try to strip him for his money. In most situations, when you see someone going through that where they got to go to court, and, they're trying to take man's money, especially over there. Jesus. No.
Fellow, Al Capone. Did you ever hear of Al Capone? Scarface. He had a scar that went from here to here, and he didn't get that scar by playing tiddlywinks, right? Al Capone. Alphonse Capone. If you smiled at him in the wrong way, he'd kill you. He was only indicted one time. I got 4. I wonder if my father and mother are proud of me. Mom, over nonsense, over stuff. That's incredible. Over stuff. Think of it. Over fighting an election. 2016 election, almost every congressman, Democrat, said, you're wrong. They made up the Russia thing. Nothing happened to them. They did things that were so bad, so illegal. Nothing happens. When you look at what's going on in this country, we have 2 tiers of justice, and we're going to have it turned around very fast. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen like that. They go after Christians. And I know you have fewer Catholics in this room than you would normally have in a lot of other states, but how about the Catholics? They're going after the Catholics like, what's going on with the Catholics? And they go after parents.
When he's saying they're going after the Catholics, does he mean they're going after the Vatican? Because the Vatican, they're Catholics, right? But they're supposed to be really powerful, right? So they say they're going after the Catholics. They're beefing the Vatican. You got to peep what Trump's coming out of Trump's mouth, man. Hey, I'm gonna be honest. They better mind they don't Simpson this guy, man. You remember the Simpsons? Remember Trump? It might be that time coming up, man. I don't know, because Simpsons, I don't know. I think that cartoon's done by someone somewhere. I don't know. I don't know who really is in making that cartoon, but I'm starting to think that they might even not be from this plane. They might be from another plane trying to predict, or I don't know, or there's some oracles making that, because that they're dodgy. But there's something to look into. Something to look into.
because they want their school boards to do a better job, and they go after parents. Parental. Can you imagine? I'm defending parental approvals now. We want parental approvals of superintendents in schools, and we want our schools to work right. And they go after those people. They don't go after the people that cause the problems and cause the corruption, so it's crazy, but we're going to have it straightened out fast. For 4 straight years under the Trump administration, I kept America safe, I kept Israel safe, and I kept the world safe. There was none of this stuff going on. None of it.
You kept it safe, you kept America safe. There were still killings going on in the streets, man. Like, this guy's talking like he's some type of... He got some valid points, but jeez, man. And the people them are just sucking it all up.
None of it was going on.
If you're wondering what I'm drinking a couple shots of Rare Nephew with coconut water. Coconut water is good, man. I only drink alcohol with coconut water. That's it. Why? Because it neutralizes overnight in your stomach. So when you wake up, it feels like you ain't even had a drink. No hangovers, none. It's before I throw that out there.
Thank you very much. No, I mean, our country, seriously, you go back 3 years, our country is not recognizable now. It's not even recognizable. You look at what's happened. Bacon has gone up 5 times in like a year and a quarter. 5 times. I saw that this morning. Bacon. What's going on with bacon? Come on, let's get going. But it's gone up. Bacon. I think I'm not going to order bacon anymore for a little while, but we'll get it back down. But bacon has gone up so much, but food has gone up so much. Everything has gone up. Inflation has been a killer. You know, inflation's called a country buster because you can go back 200 years, 300 years. Countries that have gone out of business then have been anybody that had inflation. Germany, years ago, inflation, it destroyed the country. And we have it worse than most of these countries. And then they say it's coming down to 4 or 5%, but they don't talk about the fact that you're up here.
We've got a Christmas banger for you right now. Green Big Sports Direction. What are you guys dreaming of this Christmas?
They don't talk about the fact that you're up here. We got to get the prices back down. We got to get it back down. We're going to be able, and it starts to a large extent with energy. It starts, you know, when your fuel comes down, other things happen. But now it's gotten so all pervasive with the food, and I mean everything is now hugely what's happened with inflation, hugely higher. But all over the planet, our enemies knew that one thing with us.
Inflation's a madness, you know, because if things keep going up, people won't be able to afford certain things. People won't even be able to afford to get to work. People won't be able to afford to drive certain cars and do certain things. So inflation will probably get to a point, people, where it gets so high that people would rather stay at home. I personally feel that this inflation thing is planned, and they're gonna do this before they bring out the robots to work your jobs. That's what I personally feel anyway.
That if you try to kill our citizens, we will kill you. We will kill you. And I hate to say that in front of the 100 great pastors and faith leaders and everybody that endorse me. We have so many great people. But that's the way we're going to keep our country safe. We have no choice. So faith leaders, I think they agree because they're smart and they understand. And we have to have, thank you, I have one of the 100 that definitely agrees. So that's good. There they are. They're going. That's good. But now we have to keep our country safe. And We do it not because we want to start wars. We do it because we want to stop wars. We want to prevent wars from happening. Remember Hillary? She said, he'll cause a war. He'll cause a war. Look at him, the way he talks, he'll cause a war. I said, no, the way I talk, I'll stop wars. I'm the only president in 72 years that didn't start a war. The only one. No, we didn't stop, but we finished wars. We finished ISIS and a lot of others. We got out of Syria. We got out of Iraq. Remember, I used to say a lot of stuff before I was a politician. I hate to say that because I can't imagine myself being a politician. It's cost me a couple of $1 billion to be a politician. Everyone else they make. I said, no, we can't do that. I could have made a fortune. The countries are coming. We'd like to build a job and we'd like to have you involved. Billions, I say. I tell my kids, sorry kids, we can't do it. I'm president. I respected the office. And then I get out and I see this stuff that Biden's been doing and I say, well, I did it the right way. You know, the money. And my kids say, Dad, could we build a job here or there or in the Middle East? Certain countries, they had a lot of money and they'd love to build a nice Trump job. No, kids, you can't do that. It's a conflict. I didn't do that. So I was willing. And of course, then they made it much worse with legal fees. I have $100 million worth of legal fees, and they're doing good. At least I have good lawyers. Because you can spend $100 million, have lousy lawyers too. That happens. But no, I said right from the beginning, I told Ben and Candy a long time ago, I said, you know, it's incredible. As soon as you win, they start coming to you about they want to do this. I told my kids, said, you can't do that. You can't do that. Too much respect for the office. And I told you, I had too much respect for the office to hit Joe Biden, where I say he's the most incompetent president, most corrupt president, the worst president we've ever had. Those are tough words, and I would never have done that until they did something that's never been done. They indicted a former president. They never do that. And the only reason they indicted me is that we're leading him in the polls. We're killing them. How about I have one judge in Washington, D.C., who put my trial date the day before Super Tuesday. Okay? And it's a trial based on nothing. And they say, the day before Super Tuesday, I have a trial. But that wasn't political, was it? They could have put it anywhere for years and years. They decided to put, because, this stuff could have been brought years ago. They just did this after I announced I'm running. I announced I'm running. All of a sudden, if I weren't running, or if I was in 4th or 5th place, or, like a lot of people, none of this would happen. But when you're leading, these are cheaters. That's a form of cheating. It's a big form. And it's only used in third world countries, banana republics. They do it, I said, has this ever been done before? Not in our country, but it has been done a lot in third world countries. And sometimes they call them banana republics. But they brought our country to a new level. But that allows, think of this, that allows us to do it to Biden when he gets out. And that would be very easy. But I don't want to do it. Once you do that, you've set yourself on a very downward, very bad path. Very bad path. But a thing like this has never happened before. And it is true. I heard 2 more were coming, and they said, don't do it. No, this is killing us. They didn't want to do it. Because every time I go up 7 points, 8 points, right? They did the shirt, right? The mugshot. That shirt is selling like millions and millions of shirts.
I don't know what he's talking about, a shirt selling and all that. I don't know what he's on about. He just goes off, man. He started chatting some madness in between some of this, man. Like, I didn't get some of it. But yeah, he still made some really good points about what's been going on while Biden's been doing his thing. You know what I mean? A lot of shouldas and could-haves, though. You know what I mean? I would have and should have and could have, you know what I mean? But you know how it goes. He's trying to win votes, so he's spitting game, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, like, he made some serious points, you know what I mean? Bill Gates, China, you know? But yeah, we gotta watch these things when they come up, because, like I said to you, every time their fuel gets hit, our fuel gets hit. Every time every time our shops get hit, they get hit. Same thing. So We got to keep an eye out on these things. But yeah, if you want to go and watch the whole thing, I think it's on the Forbes channel. You can watch the whole thing. I ain't going to watch the whole thing. It's like an hour and something long. And that's the only reason why I watched 20 minutes of it. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, people, I'll get back to you on the next video. All right? Peace.